आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, कसा काय, केड़ो हाल है, केम छो? I'm Abha Jadhav once again welcoming you all to your favorite talk shows on YouTube, Spotlight with Abha in collaboration with Radio Brainrine. Once upon a time there was a king and a queen. एक था राजा, एक थी रानी, दोनों मर गए, खत्म कहानी. We have grown up by hearing such interesting moral stories by our grandparents, which helped us to develop our values. And today, stories have become one such effective tool in corporates which touches everyone's emotions and help you to grow your sales. Friends, today we have a beautiful, renowned global storyteller with us on our talk show Spotlight with Abha, whose stories makes us completely engrossed and amazed. Friends, please help me welcome the founder of Storynest, Miss Shireen Matthews. Welcome, Shireen, on my show Spotlight with Abha.
Thank you so much, Abha. I'm honored to be here.
So, friends, let me give a brief introduction about Shireen Matthews. Shireen Matthews is an international storyteller and a psychologist, a master practitioner in both classical code NLP and new code NLP, working with human and organizational potentials for close to 2 decades. She believes in the power of storytelling. Her core competencies include programs on storytelling for effective management growth of organizations, human response, and external and internal communication skills, sales, branding, and image management, leadership, and dealing with changes. She helps organizations develop new age leaders and growth oriented workplace environments. She trains and aligns workforces to develop team spirit, collective productivity, and create great harmonious workplaces. Her intervention helps organizations to bring people from various cultural backgrounds and bridge the areas in communication and meet the changing needs of a growing organization. She has actively engaged in corporate storytelling in India and Dubai. Friends, I have just given a gist of what Sharon is doing right now. So, Sharon, great profile. I'm totally mesmerized by reading your profile. And friends, storytelling is actually not an easy job, right? Okay, it might be easy for our grandparents, but if I talk in today's scenario, it's not an easy job. So, how did you think of becoming a storyteller? Who is inspiration?
I actually never thought of becoming a storyteller. It just happened. So I have forever been interested in stories. बहुत पहले की एक बात है, एक राजा था और एक रानी थी. ऐसी कहानियां मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगती. So, I have forever been reading stories and telling stories without knowing that there is a profession called storytelling and there are professional storytellers, etc. So, I've been a national debate champion throughout, and I love children. I just simply love children. So, when I came to Mumbai, I realized that there are a lot of personality differences over here for adults and for college going kids, but nothing for real small children, younger children. I knew that personality actually takes form and shape when you're younger, from 0 to 6 years. So I thought I should do something for, because I love children and my passion for talking on the stage, combine it with children, and I'll do personality development classes for them. This is what I thought. So I actually prayed and fasted for 30 days and asked God, please bring me children. I don't know anybody in Mumbai. I'm born and brought up in Bhopal. I was new to Mumbai. So at the end of 30 days, a lady walks into my house. She says, hello, aap naye ho na? Main andar aa sakti hu? I said, yes, aap aiye. And then we started talking. And then I thought, oh my God, this is my prayer answered. I said, aap kal se aiye. And I really didn't know what I'll do with that child kal se. And then I thought, okay, this parent wants the child to speak good English. She wants him to stand on the stage and talk nicely. That would be quite a personality involvement for a small kid who's just 5 years old. I said, and then I thought, what better way than stories? If a child is able to speak fluent stories without any grammatical error, he will be able to talk fluently. And it requires some sort of a stage presence. You need to use expressions. You need to use body language and facial expression, gestures. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to train this kid in storytelling. And it so happened that in 1 year, I had more than 100 kids. I had to take another flat to start my classes. So I really believe that storytelling is an answer to my prayer. So whenever I do something with storytelling, it's always a hit. It's always a hit because I feel somewhere up there has blessed me with this. So
Great.
that is how I began my journey as a storyteller without knowing that there is something called storytelling as a profession.
Wow. So it was your purest feeling, deep from your heart, which
Hmm.
actually, inspired you
Yes.
to go for this. So, can anyone tell story, or there should be some speciality in some person to tell stories?
Everybody cannot tell stories. Only people who love stories can tell stories.
Okay. So,
So anybody who would love to listen to stories can also tell stories. So I think most of us, 90%, see, everybody is not same, right? Everybody cannot play cricket, everybody cannot sing, everybody cannot dance. And there is a difference. When you say professional storytelling, there is a difference. Like, for example, everybody can run, right? We all know how to run, but we are not all sprinters. We are not marathon runners. For that, you need training, you need specific diet, you need specific education. Everybody can sing, but everybody is not a singer, you
yes,
see. So everybody can tell stories, but everybody is not a storyteller. So there is a difference between telling a story and being a storyteller. So that requires a little bit of training, professional understanding, how to deliver, etc., etc., etc. So you need to get into a little training mode unless and until you have an absolute knack for it. For example, there are natural runners who just start running, but not everybody. There are natural singers who just start singing, but not everybody. It's the
true,
same
true.
thing with storytelling. It's a science and art which needs training.
Great. So I was thinking that anyone can become storyteller. You just need some, past memories to connect with. Great. So good to know. So whoever is planning to become a storyteller, they must first learn to be a story listener, right? And then only you
Yes.
can
And also
become a storyteller.
go
Yes.
for, yeah, and also go for some sort of a professional training so you'll understand the
Hmm.
nuances of professional storytelling. See,
So,
professional storytelling means just like any other profession, you get paid for what you're doing. So
okay,
people will not pay you for just about anything. You should be good at it.
true, true.
You see? So you
So
need training.
you are founder of Story Nest. So what you do in the Story Nest?
So Story Nest is an amazing, amazing company which I started about 19 years back. And this June I completed 19 years. I
Proud
train
to that.
children and adults on the art of public speaking through
Okay.
storytelling. This is what my forte is. I train people on how to talk, and I do it all through storytelling. So we have two programs running right now. One is a bedtime stories on Tuesdays from 8 to 9, where
Hmm.
all the children come just to listen to stories. They just
Okay.
listen. And my whole motto in my life is to infuse children and people with confidence. I feel the best gift you can give a child is confidence. If the child knows how to deal with crisis in life, then he's sorted. And if we have happy parents, then we'll automatically have happy child. We don't have to work so much on the children. This is the whole idea behind our bedtime stories. So I might read 100 stories, but I would select only 2 stories which would really touch my heart, and I feel this is going to drive a point home with kids, without being too gyani and preachy, which will subtly get into them. And I know brain takes time to process information, so wo hoga. So all the stories that we tell at bedtime stories are for inspiration, are for motivation, are for them to become better and stronger human beings. Then we have a program called Public Speaking Through Storytelling, where children come to us to learn public speaking through storytelling. So we have different batches running. We have children from all over the world who come and learn storytelling from us. We also train teachers on how to integrate storytelling into education and make curriculum and class more interesting.
Great.
I also train aspiring storytellers. You want to become a storyteller, you want to do it professionally, we train you. I train business schools on how to develop business stories. That is what I do in Story Nest. This is what I do in Story Nest. Other than that, I'm also a full-time corporate storyteller for a Dubai company. where I handle some French and German products. So we do marketing strategy, boardroom presentations, press conferences, etc., 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 through storytelling, exclusively through storytelling. That's what I do.
That is really amazing. Yesterday, I was just part of your this Kathasu
Thank you.
storytelling conclave, where I was
Yeah.
totally mesmerized to see very young children of 4 years and 5 years telling stories so confidently. So, how do you develop confidence and that fluency in such small kids?
It's easier to develop, I feel, in younger kids because they're a blank slate. They have very less information inside them. So all that you need to feed it is with confidence. That is by talks, by talking to their parents, by giving them an opportunity to be in front of people like we did yesterday. So whether it's in a physical form or an online medium like now, we always give them a platform to perform, to showcase themselves in front of an audience. That gives them confidence. Plus, I have lots of workshops that I do for the parents of Storynest on and off to tell them how to improve their confidence through their writing, how to improve their confidence through sleep talking, how to improve their confidence by talking to them. So we do a lot of stuff. Everything we do is with the aim of developing confidence. That's what we do. तो हमारे बच्चे तो confident ही
And that I have seen, that was
हैं.
visible
Confident ही होंगे.
in the conclave. So, is it possible to create someone's mission or vision through storytelling?
Of course, yes, yes. Vision, mission, your entire image, your entire branding, relationship healing, it it can be used for everything. I also do therapeutic storytelling for doctors and for healthcare workers on how to go and talk to patients and clients and to make the healing process faster. So storytelling is used everywhere in every way. You just have to be creative enough to think how to use storytelling, just like any art form.
So, you are using this storytelling concept in corporates also. So, how one
Yes.
can increase his or
Yeah.
her roti, that is rate of time invested or money invested through storytelling?
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you, which is your favorite chocolate, or which chocolate do you think is doing the best in the industry right now, in the
Dairy
market?
milk silk.
Everybody says this, dairy milk. So, because dairy milk is the only product that has a story. The other products, other chocolates, if you think, they talk about packaging, they talk about the make of the chocolate, they talk about the size, the quantity. Dairy milk never talks about it. Dairy milk always talks about an emotion.
Story
It talks about a gift for someone you love.
you love.
So if you have the right story to give to people, it will sell. Nothing sells like a good story. I'll give you an example. There was a research conducted in America by an American journalist a long time back to prove that storytelling is the best marketing tool. So what he did is he spent $100 and he bought 100 items, and all the items were less than 1 cent. $1. So it was 99 cent, 93 cent, 94 cent. And they were random stuff. There was a head of a horse, there was a saucer, there was a small ball, there was a doll. So he bought random stuff, and then it was a social experiment. Then he invited storytellers, writers, authors, bloggers, everybody, and he asked them to write stories on every article. Okay.
Okay.
Every piece that he had, they wrote. You can Google it, you will find it. They wrote stories on every product, and also they kept a disclaimer which said these are fictional stories and are not in any way related to the product. But he sold it at a much, much, much bigger price because people were reading these stories. They knew that it was not connected to the product and still getting emotionally attached to the product and buying. See, usually we always don't buy things because we need them. We buy because we fancy them also. That is
True.
how you increase your ROI. Actually, that is what Apple is doing. So if you take Apple, it has the biggest storytelling unit with Steve Clayton as the chief storyteller. It has an entire storyteller department. So nothing sells like a good story. Nothing sells or nothing attaches you to anything other than a strong emotion. And where do you get that strong emotion? You don't get it by facts, you only get it by storytelling.
Great. So now, those who are in corporate sectors who will be listening this interview, they will definitely start including stories more and more in their presentations now, and definitely they will be approaching you for this courses. So, is it
So
possible for
the
we
most
adults
important
also?
thing is to, so you know, the most important thing is to find the right story. That's
Hmm.
the most important thing.
So, can we adults also learn
Yeah.
storytelling?
Yes. I do train adults all the time. I do a one-on-one session, group session. I do all of that. I train storytellers, aspiring storytellers, people who
Okay.
want to do corporate storytelling.
In corporate storytelling, there must be stories which be more into emotions of the employees. That is what I believe.
Yes.
So, how do you, teach
It
those
is.
things? Yes.
So when we say corporate storytelling, so there is a little confusion. So corporate storytelling does not mean that the people in the corporate are going to tell stories. That's different.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what you mean is actually in India, if you see, or what general understanding of people is with the trainers. So when trainers use storytelling as a module to make their training effective, that is called storytelling in training. That is not corporate storytelling. Corporate storytelling is some completely different. So when you say corporate storytelling, you have a hired corporate storyteller, not for a day. It's not a one-day workshop. Okay, one-day workshop happens, but when you have a hired corporate storyteller, it's just like a CEO or a manager or a director who has a full-time job. So this corporate storyteller has a full-time job in the company. She or he is forever asking people about their experiences, about different things. She knows there's a crisis happened, how to deal with the crisis, how to change the story. If there is a board presentation happening, which stories to bring into the board presentation, what stories to give to the press conference. So forever and ever, corporate storytellers are mining and digging for stories inside the company itself, and
Okay.
those are the stories they use. But they can be, of course, creative. They can bring in folk tales, they can bring in all of that to add a different element to this whole storytelling structure once in a while, not always. But corporate storytelling is always about the product, the place, the person, and people. This is what corporate storytelling is about. So it's not really always verbal. Sometimes we train the directors, this story is what you're supposed to open your presentation with, or close your presentations with, or hand it out in between the presentation. So it's a complete 24-hour sort of a job where you're forever and forever looking for stories and writing stories.
Great. So, Sharon, I saw that yesterday in your Kathastu conclave that there were international storytellers, right?
Mhm.
Like Svetlana, Velma,
Yes.
Tony. So, how did you develop your global coverage in storytelling? Yes.
So a few years back, because I have done something called Heart Tales. You'll be able to see Heart Tales on YouTube. So I had done this 40 days of Heart Tales where every day I put in a story. I think it got recognized and a lot of people saw it. And I don't know how, but Tony approached me a long time back, some few years back, and he said, "Are you Sharon Matthews? I'm calling from London FM radio." I said, "Okay." I didn't know him then. Then he said, "We would like to do an interview with you." So he did an interview with me, and then he said, "I would also like you to send your stories to our London Talking Stories." So I sent him some stories, and that is how slowly I developed a rapport with him. And if you go to Facebook, you can now get connected to everybody, you see. So today we have American storytellers. All of them are very close friend of mine. We have been talking, discussing stories, discussing our lives, everything. We're very close knit storytellers. We also have Dawn today. So my life is a story of miracles. I feel people come from somewhere and they try to do something for me whom I don't even know. So one day Dawn asked me. Dawn is a corporate storyteller in US, most highly paid and most sought after. He retired as the chief storyteller for Toyota Kentucky. So one day out of the blue, he just asked me, "Hey kiddo, would you like to learn corporate storytelling? I want to train you." And I was like, oh my God, okay. Then I researched for his profile and I said, oh God, he's the chief storyteller of Toyota. I said, yes, why not? And we started, he's my mentor and guide right now. So most of the associations have been through Facebook. Facebook has been very good to me.
Great.
So I've developed all these connections through Facebook. Svetlana was referred to me by Tony because Tony runs this radio channel where all storytellers from all over the world come and tell stories 24/7. So you can imagine, he's well connected with everybody. He was so impressed yesterday. He said, I want to do a session for you for Christmas. You're inviting me. I said, sure.
Wow.
So I think I'm blessed with a lot of good storytellers as my friends.
Indeed, no doubt about it. And this is really, I'm getting more and more curious to attend more and more stories of your conclave. So definitely today also I'll be joining your conclave, Kathastu. And on this note,
Yeah.
can our viewers have one short story from you, Sharon? We cannot leave you without a story.
Yeah, sure, you can. What kind of story would you like to listen to?
Any story which
Pardon?
can connect
I
all
didn't
the
hear you.
people together at this moment.
Okay, you were asking me about connection. So let me tell you another story. So let me tell you a beautiful story. I will make it very, very short. And I'll tell you what happened because I told this story. So then you'll understand the power of storytelling. I'll make it really short. Once upon a time, there was a blind boy called Dhruv. He had a friend called Tanish. So one day, Tanish asked Dhruv, let's go for hunting. Dhruv got very excited because he hardly went out and somebody was asking him to go for hunting. So they started walking towards the deep, dark forest. As they walked in, they walked through the thick forest and they walked through the thin forest. And after some time, Dhruv stopped and said, I hear a sound and that's a hare running on the ground. Tanish was surprised. How does he know? He didn't realize, though he didn't have eyes, his other senses were really sharp and he could perceive. They walked along a little while more and again they stopped. And Dhruv said, I hear a sound and that's an owl flying around. Tanish was surprised again. And as they neared a stream, they set up a trap for birds. So Dhruv set his trap, Tanish set his trap, and they went for a walk. They walked through the thick forest and they walked through the thin forest. And as they came near the stream, Dhruv said, stop, there are birds in our nest. Tanish was surprised again. So when they went to the stream, they had covered the nets with a lot of dry leaves. Tanush took all the leaves out and he was amazed and surprised and shocked and disappointed to see that Dhruv's net had a big, beautiful, colorful bird. And his net had a small Chintu Mintu gray bird. So what he thought Dhruv cannot see. So let me exchange it. So he quietly took the big, beautiful bird from Dhruv's net and put it in his bag and took the small gray bird and put it in Dhruv's bag. Dhruv, who was talking all the while, now was absolutely quiet and Tanish could not understand what happened. So they kept on walking through the thick forest and the thin forest, and as they reached their home, they saw two men talking loudly and fighting with each other. Tanish got irritated. He looked at Dhruv and asked, why do people fight? Dhruv kept quiet for some time. Then he came right in front of Tanish and with his blind eyes, looked right into his eyes and said, people fight because people do what you just did to me. Tanish was shocked. He was embarrassed. He was red with embarrassment. He was ashamed of himself. So he quietly put his hand in Dhruv's bag, took out the grey bird and put it in his bag. He took the big, beautiful, colorful bird and put it in Dhruv's bag. And then he looked at Dhruv and asked, and why do people love and forgive each other? Dhruv smiled and looked at Tanish again as if his blind eyes were looking right into his eyes. And he said, people love and forgive each other because people do what you just did to me. Thank you.
Wow.
So what happened after this story was, I taught this to my children, my students, and a father who the child might have gone and told the story to the father. The father called me up the next day and he said, Sharon, do you know what your story did to me? I called up my brother, whom I had not talked for 5 years, and I spoke to him. So I said, oh my
Wow,
God, this is why I tell stories.
that is really amazing. And yes, this is the magic of stories, that through emotions you get connected to people
Yes,
around the world. So thank you,
correct.
Sherin, for being with us. And it was really wonderful talking to you. And your story was cherry on the cake in my program. So before we leave,
Thank you so
uh, I just want to tell you that this program will be streaming on my YouTube channel, Abha Jadhav. And also, you can listen to this
much. Okay.
program on Radio Brain Rhyme, for which you have to download Radio Brain Rhyme application from Google Play Store. And
Yes.
thank you for
All my
being here.
students have already downloaded it.
Wow, great. So, thank you for being here and giving me your time from your busy schedule. Thank you once again. And definitely, I'm sure all the viewers now they will be trying to become storyteller. At least they will be a good story listeners.
Thank you so much, Abba. You've been an amazing listener yourself. I could see you listening to the story, and it was, the storyteller gets the energy from the audience. So when you have a receptive audience, the storyteller has more energy to tell. And it's an honor and pleasure. And I thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. I'm looking forward to looking at this program into your channel.
Sure. So, let's take leave from now from this program right now. So we'll be seeing you in evening in your Kathastu conclave
Kathastu.
today. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Bye
So,
bye. Bye.
friends, I'm taking leave from now. We'll come again with yet another personality in your favorite program, Spotlight with Abha. Till then, have a good time. Take care. Bye bye.